I, 28M, work as a senior forensic accountant. My job is literally to find people who think they're smarter than the system, embezzlers, fraudsters, and people who hide money in places they shouldn't. I deal in evidence, not vibes. My fiancé, 26F, was the total opposite. She worked in luxury PR and was all about energy, radical honesty, and being progressive. We were 4 months out from our wedding, and I thought we were solid. I was wrong. Last month, she came to me with this special idea for Valentine's Day. She wanted to invite her ex-boyfriend, 29M, and his new wife, 27F, over for a dinner party. She called it a night of healing. She'd been with this guy for 5 years in college, and apparently, it ended messily. She claimed she wanted us to be a modern, sophisticated circle of friends to prove we had all moved on. I thought it was weird as hell, but I trusted her. Plus, I'm an analyst. I figured if something was off, I'd see it. The night started with her ex-boyfriend acting like he owned the place. He's a lifestyle coach, which is basically code for unemployed guy with a Porsche lease he can't afford. His wife was super quiet, just nursing her wine and looking uncomfortable. By 9 p.m., the lifestyle coach started talking about how most people are trapped in boxes like monogamy and social expectations. My fiancé was nodding along like he was a prophet. Then came the game. My fiancé announced we were playing the mirror swap. She'd already set a bowl on the sideboard. We were supposed to put our keys in, draw a pair, and spend the night and the morning with that person to prove our bond was unbreakable. It was so obviously staged. Her ex's keys were already in the bowl. They expected me to just go along with it to prove I wasn't insecure. I decided to play. I drew the wife's keys. The ex drew my fiancé's. They didn't even hesitate. They headed straight for the guest room, laughing. My fiancé didn't even look back at me. I looked at the wife, who looked like she wanted to cry. She told me he'd threatened to leave her if she didn't agree to this because he needed to reconnect with his muse. Here's where they messed up. My house is my home office. Because I handle sensitive financial data, my security system is insane. I have high-def cameras with audio in every room except the bathrooms, and my fiancé had signed a disclosure form for these cameras when she moved in, so I could pass my firm's security audit. She knew they were there, but she was so caught up in her unforgettable night that she forgot. I went into my office, locked the door, and pulled up the live feed. It wasn't healing. They were mocking me. My fiancé called me a boring provider and a stable husband you have so you can afford the life you want. Then they started talking about my grandfather's trust fund. She told him she hadn't signed the new prenup yet and planned to funnel consulting fees from the trust to his failing business once we were married. I didn't storm in. I sat there for hours and dismantled her entire life. I recorded everything. I backed it up to 3 different servers. I found the ex-boyfriend's shell company where he was hiding money from his wife. I even checked my fiancé's secret credit cards and found $40,000 in debt I didn't know about. At 7:30 a.m., they walked out of the guest room. The ex-boyfriend was shirtless in my kitchen, using my espresso machine. He called me champ and asked if I had a transformative night. I just handed my fiancé a manila folder. It was a notice of eviction. I'd actually bought the condo through a holding company a few months back, and her guest status was revoked for using the premises to plan financial fraud. The ex-boyfriend tried to act tough, calling me a little bitch for being jealous. I just played the audio of them talking about stealing my trust fund. The look on their faces was priceless. The wife then chimed in, announcing she was filing for divorce and taking the 401k he'd been hiding. My fiancé lost it. She tried to say the cameras were illegal, but she'd signed the consent form. She tried to claim the engagement ring was hers, but since the marriage condition wasn't met due to her fraud, I took it back. I had security escort them out. The ex-boyfriend tried one last jab, saying he had her, while I was just a loser in an office. I told him he was welcome to her, and her $40,000 in secret debt I'd just cut her off from. I didn't stop there. I sent the audio of the fraud plan to her PR firm's HR department. She had a morality and compliance clause in her contract. They walked her out of the building that afternoon. I sent a 40-page forensic audit of the ex's business to the IRS and the FTC. Fast forward, my ex-fiancé had to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. She's working at a call center now and living in a tiny studio. The lifestyle coach lost everything to his investors and the IRS. He's working in a warehouse now. His ex-wife and I actually stayed in touch. We met up a few months later to toast to our freedom. She wanted an unforgettable Valentine's Day. I made sure she'll remember the consequences for the rest of her life. If you enjoyed seeing a lifestyle coach get audited into oblivion, hit that subscribe button. My updates have a much better ROI than his wellness retreats.